Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. How are we doing today? It's another beautiful spring day here in central Pennsylvania. I mean, really spring days are supposed to be rainy, but I don't know. It's just weird. We haven't gotten rain in probably about 3 weeks now, and it doesn't look like in the next 10-day forecast it's calling for any more rain. So this is going to be an interesting year. But I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, it started out the same way, and then it started raining once the summer hit, which is weird for around here. Usually in Pennsylvania, mostly we get a ton of rain in the spring, and then it stops raining in through July for about a month and dries off, and then it starts raining again. So I don't know why the weather pattern has shifted so much lately. So this morning we stopped over at our favorite little greenhouse and we bought a ton of plants. So today we're going to try to get these planted out as much as we possibly can. So I'm trying something different this year. I'm going to try growing some tomatoes in 5-gallon buckets. So we planted these earlier. This one here I planted first. I planted it a while ago. I bought them all at the same time. They were all the same size, and I planted that one the first. And as you can see, that thing is just going to town. It's already got some blossoms on it. Hoping to get some tomatoes here real soon. The rest of them here, I just transferred them over. The one thing is besides the fact is that we're not having any rain, we're having, I think, unseasonably cold temperatures. We're supposed to be beyond our frost date where we should be able to plant out. And the last 2 nights, I mean, it didn't frost, but I mean, this morning we woke up, it was like 37 out. The day before we woke up and it was 33 out. It didn't quite freeze, so I don't know. I'm still a little nervous about planting stuff out just yet. This, like I said, this year has been strange. So the first thing I want to do is we did get some sweet potato slips here. And I think what I want to try to do is I want to go get some 5-gallon buckets and I want to plant them in some 5-gallon buckets because they're in these containers here. And I don't think how much longer they're going to actually stay in these containers. I think that they need to get out of these containers. And I don't want to plant them outside. It's way too cold for sweet potatoes around here. And, you know, they're just going to die if we plant them around here. So let's go get some 5-gallon buckets and get these here transferred over to a 5-gallon bucket. So Jen's down here. How's the flowers coming?
Good.
So you bought some daylilies?
Yeah, some daylilies.
And you want to plant this all in daylilies here?
Daylilies and hostas, just because the chickens.
Yeah, but they seem to eat the hostas.
Well, they have lots of other. These hostas are doing really good though out front.
Yeah, that is true.
And those ones back there are doing really good. So
it's just some hostas they seem to mow off, and other ones they don't.
So let's see.
We still got to find a spot for this hydrangea bush.
Yes. So I want to do that today, hopefully too.
I wonder if this takes shade or if it's going to take full sun.
I don't know.
Because if it would take like partial shade, we need to look that up. Maybe we could plant that out there in your garden in the back behind that rock wall. Mm. That way it'd kind of get up and grow. I don't know. That'd be an idea.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to keep working on my things. Okay, so we got 2 5-gallon buckets here to start out with. I'm not sure exactly how many slips are in each box here. I'm going to pull them out slowly. I'm going to fill them up with this material back here. This is stuff that has been composting for, oh gosh, it's been here as long as we have. So it's been here about 3 years. This is some of the first stuff we pulled out of the barn here. So I'm going to get these buckets filled up and then we'll go down there and we'll try to get them split up and see if we can grow some sweet potatoes this year. Okay, so the previous owners, what they did was they used to actually plant all their vegetables right along this part of the deck here. They had 5-gallon buckets here. Now what they nicely did, they drilled some holes in the bottom of the 5-gallon bucket. That way the buckets drain. You don't want to just put them in a 5-gallon bucket where it's going to hold the water. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to put these sweet potatoes in a couple 5-gallon buckets here. And like I said, that the big thing is it's still pretty cold at night here, so they're going to need moved inside. I'm hoping with putting them in a bigger container like this here that they'll take off again a little bit here. They seem a little wilted, but I mean, this was the best looking bunches they had there. I don't know, like I said, we never grew. I mean, last year we did a little bit, but that was just kind of like an accident experiment. We had some sweet potatoes that we had in our bin there where we store potatoes, and I went down there and there was a bunch of slips growing out of them. So we broke the slips off and planted them, and we got a couple of potatoes, not a whole lot. So I'm not no expert anyhow on planting sweet potatoes, I'll tell you that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put these over here next to the edge here, and I'll probably get some water, and I want to water them in good. Okay, so we got the sweet potatoes all planted. So now I wanted to come down here, and we haven't talked about these as well. So we built these raised beds here last year, and then we framed them in this year and put all this chicken wire up, and I wanted to show you guys how things were going. So right now the strawberries look really, really good. We got quite the crop of strawberries going there. The wife came down, Jennifer came down here, and she picked all the ripe ones. The broccoli down here, I think we might have broccoli tonight for supper. So, and the onions are doing pretty good. But I really like it how nothing can get in there. It's pretty much predator proof. I'm sure if a predator really wanted to go in there and eat everything, I guess you don't really call it a predator. It's eating a vegetable. But you know what I'm talking about there. But it is keeping out all the critters. So this one over here is doing pretty good. We got our lettuce over here is doing really, really good. It's about ready for harvest. And we got our carrots growing down through here. Now the radishes, they're about done. Radishes don't grow that well in warmer weather. They prefer cold weather. And you can see they're starting to shoot heads and go to seed. So I think what I'm going to do here is I want to pull all these out. And we'll take them up and feed them to the pigs here. That's one thing about having, you know, pigs and chickens and different animals on the homestead, is that nothing ever should go to waste. That if you can't eat it, somebody else on the farm should be able to eat it. And be able to produce it. You know, the pigs will eat it and produce it in some nice pork for me to eat. I mean, that's the thing is in reality, it is kind of funny, is I'm pretty much a carnivore. I mean, I do like to eat some vegetables here and there, that especially something that's grown on my property here, but the majority of my diet is the carnivore diet. Like I said, since November I've lost about 45 pounds and I feel so much better. I can't believe all the different changes and stuff. I sleep better, I feel better, don't have near the problems that I had before I went on the diet. And so I sit here and I bust my butt, you know, planting this garden. And then most of the time I end up feeding it to the pigs. So that way I can eat the pigs. Okay. So we got all the radishes out of there now. So the one thing I want to do here is I bought some cucumbers. Cucumbers and tomatoes are like my favorite food. I can sit there and just eat cucumbers straight. My wife gets all mad. I'll come down here and just pick cucumbers all day and just eat them directly. And also tomatoes are the same way. Hold on there a second. So what I want to do is, because of this wire mesh around here, I want to plant some cucumbers over there along that edge there, and that way they should vine up that wall and use this wire mesh as a trellis, and then I should be able to pick the tomatoes off of it, or the cucumbers off of it. So let's go ahead and let's put these 4 cucumbers over here against the wall. So I'm going to set you guys down here. Okay, so they're planted along that edge there, and I'm going to try to train them to climb right up that wall there and cover that whole wall with cucumbers. That would be just awesome to have that many cucumbers to eat. So the other thing I brought down here now, I brought some peppers down, and I want to put the peppers in here where the radishes were. That way you kind of double crop things. You got to look at your cropping cycle and things that you can grow, that you can plant on top of each other. You know, a lot of your root crops that grow in the early spring should be able to harvest by now and make room for a summer crop. So let's go ahead and put these peppers in. That's one thing, I'm really enjoying these raised beds down here. I really like them so far. I'd like to build more, but you know, right now I want to try doing this chicken tractor down here, and this is the only place that I really have grass growing that I can do a chicken tractor. So it's weird in some ways that, you know, I own 25 acres and I'm still limited on space. So speaking of chicken tractors, let's go over here and take a look at this. So today's the first day that I brought the chicks out. The past couple of days it's been a little chilly during the day, and a lot of breeze and stuff like that. So we went ahead and we brought the little guys out. Now, as you can see, besides our meat birds here, we did buy 2 meat chickens, or meat turkeys, I'm sorry. So we have a bronze turkey, and there's the white turkey over there. Now you'll see that there's some black peeps in here. Those black peeps, those are ones that we hatched here on our property. Now the white ones there, the larger white ones, that is something else. So last night, Jennifer decided that we needed to run down to about an hour south of here. And we picked up our first ever breast chickens. So we got those 6, and then we got 10 more that are really, really small that are in the basement. We talked about what we're going to do is we're going to raise these up, and any hens we're going to keep, and we might keep one rooster. We're going to go get rid of Barry, our main rooster probably, and see what happens if we switch over to breast chickens. The only thing I'm really worried about, we're going to have to keep a couple of the black chickens around. A lot of people say, and you know, since we started keeping black chickens, that it keeps down on the hawk attacks. We don't have the hawk attacks that we used to have whenever we had all lighter colored chickens. The hawks mistaken the black chickens for crows, and they stay away from the place. So we want to keep a couple black chickens around, but the one thing is, whenever you're trying to do what we're doing here, we're trying to be self-sustaining, that a lot of these other dual purpose breeds take forever to grow out. I mean, it's a long period of time. You're hatching them out, and you're keeping them for months before they're large enough to process. And that is the one thing with the breast. It's supposed to be one of the fastest. It might be even be the fastest bird that you can hatch out on your property and raise out for meat. And they produce a very large, tasty bird. We're renowned for some of the best tasting chicken out there. And so we're going to give this a try. If we like them, we're going to try to continue to raise them, and that will be our main source of meat. But last year we did turkeys. This year here, like I said, one of the biggest problems with turkeys is the turkeys like to hide their eggs, and they're very hard to find. And so this year here, we didn't do very well on collecting eggs. Last year we collected, I don't know how many turkey eggs. I mean, it was just immense amount of turkey eggs. And we were able to hatch out. We hatched out over 50 chicks and raised them out, and we had meat all winter. This year here, we had the same amount of actually we have more hens this year. Last year I think we had 3 hens. This year here we have 4 hens, and so far we've only been able to hatch out 4 chicks so far. I just don't know what the difference is, you know. I still need to try to figure that out, why it would happen differently. So let's take all these radishes up and we'll give them to the pigs and see how the pigs like them. Okay, so we got the radishes here, and like I said, they're all going to seed. They're getting tough. Most people would consider it waste. So let's see what the pigs think. Pigs! Calvin there, he would rather them have them sugar coated than have well, it's getting in the afternoon here, pretty late. It's time for me to go ahead and get the evening feedings done and start supper. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for today. Thanks for stopping by the homestead, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.